Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 1819 of What You Up To Now, documenting the journey, primarily the business journey and the online business journey as I transition from brick and mortar corporate world of businesses to the online world of business and all the junk I've gone through. And part of my journey was getting over the fear of doing live videos. So I started doing a video every day, and then I did an annual challenge and another annual challenge and another annual challenge. And this year's annual challenge is the Get Your Goals annual challenge, suggested to me by my friend Chad Hanna. Appreciate him very much, because I was at the end of the year last year trying to think of, okay, what's my next annual challenge going to be? And I pick one every year, and it's been pretty easy. The first couple of years I did it to coincide with books and things that I really wanted to achieve in my life. Number one was to stretch my comfort zone, then happy, fun, love. Last year was the BU 365-day challenge, to do one thing every day that continually improves us and helps us become the better, continually improving version of ourselves. And this year is all about goals, everything goals. And we're covering right now different goal frameworks, because there's a lot of different ways you can go about setting, getting, and achieving goals. And so I wanted to share more than just what I do. So I researched and I found like 14, 15 different frameworks that I'm sharing, and then we'll take all those frameworks, we're trying one on for size each day, and then we'll create our own process, our own framework, each and every one of us, and we'll probably all be doing slightly tweaked different frameworks as we move forward throughout the rest of the year. But we want to find what works best for us, and then we'll probably even tweak and change that as the year progresses. But that's what the annual challenge is all about. So today's framework was the hard goals framework, and I've never really used this particular framework. It stands for heartfelt, animated, required, and difficult, and each of those things means something different that I described on the annual challenge video. So you can go listen to that on the Facebook Get Up and Go private group page, Get Up and Go challenge, and that's one that I started in 2020, and it's got 15 other challenges there that are in the guide section. So you can go there, and in guide 16 is this year's challenge. We're not too far in it. We're only 16 days. It's just a few minutes a day, and then an action item every day that you can join us in. And you can actually join us anywhere during the year, because it doesn't repeat itself, but we do similar things each month based on different areas and aspects of our life. So if you're really concerned about your physical well-being, I think February will be physical. I haven't mapped out or decided which order we're going to talk about those in. That's something that we'll decide together toward the end of the month. What order do we want to use the life framework in to go through goals in each area and do tools specific to that area, strategies and techniques and things. And I'll teach the SOAP framework, of course, because that's my personal favorite, how we deal with any change or challenge automatically. And I'm tying, last year I started tying in my Supersize Your Business for female entrepreneurs, or Supersize Your Business groups idiom. I share a business idiom in there every day. I started doing it when I was moving a couple years ago, and I kind of just got hooked on it. Every day I share an idiom, and it may or may not be related to business at all. And my personal challenge is to relate it to building and growing and scaling and supersizing our businesses. How could we look at that idiom and use it in a way that helps us to be a better version of ourselves, or helps us to grow our business, or understand people, or communication, or something better? And so far, there's only been a couple that have been a really big stretch to apply to growing or building our businesses. But there have been a couple where it's just like, yeah, I got nothing. I can't think of how we would really use this or apply it for our business, because it's not a very useful idiom. And of course, that's true of everything in life, right? We learn a lot of stuff, and some of it applies to different areas of our life, and others we just are like, I learned that, I'm going to put it in my long-term memory bank, and if I ever need it, it'll pop up and I'll have learned it, but I can't really see a use for it right now. So our idiom today was grasp the nettle, which to me means, grab onto a pricker bush or something painful, something hard, do something hard. And so that was easy to tie to business, because if you're growing and building a business, there are a lot of hard things you have to do. So I shared a couple of stories about hard things I had to do in my businesses. That's all I've got today. Still haven't solved my, with Facebook Live not allowing us to download videos anymore, how do I pull out my audio in order to share that on my podcast? So I have now gone, today will be the 5th day without a podcast episode, which after 6,000, I don't even remember how many, 6,000, not looking at my notes. Let me go back a couple of pages because I haven't done it for so long. My sisters were giving me a hard time yesterday. And my daughter too. They're like, why don't you just not do a podcast? And I'm like, because that's how I reach hundreds of thousands of people, is why I do a podcast. Boy, we got to go way back. Oh, 6,300 is where I left off when I realized that I couldn't get access to my things. So I spent the weekend trying to figure out, look at solutions. A lot of them are super duper complicated. And at this point in my life, I don't want to learn a whole bunch of new softwares and frameworks. There's like 2 or 3 softwares that I can put together to do what I want to do. But yesterday, as I was going to sleep, I was like, there has got to be a simpler solution to this. So I'm revamping my thought process on it today and figuring out a couple of different ways to get access to that. Maybe I just have to, and I was looking at hooking up my cell phone onto and using it as a camera for my laptop, because I've got a laptop that's touchscreen for my vision, and it doesn't have a camera on it, which is probably for a lot of reasons, because my makeup gets really scary because I can't see well enough to do it. But as I was going to bed, I was like, do I really want to do that? Do I have to do that? There's got to be another solution. So I'm going to keep looking today, and hopefully today I will actually find a solution that will allow me to pull my audio out and get my podcast back going, because it really bothers me that I haven't put a podcast out there. This will be the 5th day, and that's crazy. And could I go back and use content that I've already got in there as filler content? Sure, I could. And maybe I will. Maybe I'll take a couple of those and just reshare them to keep my flow going. But I also need to make other changes in my podcast. So maybe this is the time, and the universe telling me it's time to change some things. So if I can help you anyway, ask. Otherwise, have a fabulous day, start of a new week, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye.